eye of the enemy is moving.
Come, Master, come to Smeagol.
This is your test. Every path you have trod through wilderness, through war, has led to this road.
When The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King arrived in 2003, it did more than conclude a trilogy. It sealed a cinematic achievement that had reshaped the landscape of epic filmmaking. Directed by Peter Jackson and based on the final volume of J.R.R. Tolkien's monumental literary saga, the film stands as the emotional and thematic summit of a journey that began in innocence and ended in sacrifice. From its opening frames, there is a sense of inevitability, an understanding that every choice made in the earlier chapters now converges toward destiny. The story no longer has the luxury of detours or discovery. It moves with the weight of history pressing upon it as Middle-earth teeters on the edge of annihilation. The narrative revisits the fractured fellowship, each member now carrying burdens shaped by loss, loyalty, and duty. Elijah Wood's Frodo Baggins appears diminished yet resolute, bearing the One Ring as both a physical object and a psychological torment. His bond with Samwise Gamgee, portrayed by Sean Astin, becomes the moral spine of the film. Sam's unwavering devotion anchors the increasingly fragile Frodo, whose proximity to Mount Doom corrodes his strength and judgment. Andy Serkis's Gollum remains a tragic duality, both guide and saboteur, his fractured psyche illustrating the ring's corrosive power more vividly than any exposition could. Meanwhile, the kingdoms of men prepare for an assault that will determine the fate of their world. Viggo Mortensen's Aragorn fully embraces his lineage as the rightful king, transforming from reluctant ranger to commanding leader. His evolution reaches maturity not merely through battlefield valor, but through acceptance of responsibility. Ian McKellen's Gandalf stands as both strategist and spiritual guide, confronting the rising darkness with clarity and urgency. Bernard Hill's King Theoden faces mortality with quiet nobility, embodying the tragic heroism that defines the Rohirrim. Alindo Bloom's Legolas and John Rhys Davies' Gimli provide flashes of camaraderie amid impending catastrophe, reminding audiences that fellowship persists even as hope wanes. The visual grandeur of the Minas Tirith siege unfolds as one of the most ambitious sequences in modern cinema, its architecture towering like a last beacon against despair. The city itself becomes a character, a symbol of resilience under siege. As Sauron's forces advance, the film explores not only spectacle, but the psychological toll of war. The steward, Denethor, portrayed with unsettling intensity, represents the corrosion of leadership under fear. His descent into fatalism contrasts sharply with the courage of those around him. Miranda Otto's Éowyn defies both societal expectation and mortal dread. Her confrontation with the Witch King stands as a pivotal moment of defiance against prophecy. Christopher Lee's Saruman lingers as a reminder that corruption takes many forms, though the narrative's true focus lies on the eye of Sauron, ever watchful and relentless. Cate Blanchett's Galadriel and Hugo Weaving's Elrond appear as distant yet significant presences, bridging the fading age of elves with the uncertain dominion of men. Liv Tyler's Arwen becomes more than a romantic figure. Her choice to embrace mortality underscores the cost of hope. Dominic Monaghan's Murray and Billy Boyd's Pippin evolve from comic relief into soldiers shaped by grief and bravery, their arcs affirming that even the smallest hands can alter the course of history. Visually, the film operates on a scale rarely matched. The battle sequences merge practical effects, detailed miniatures, and groundbreaking digital innovation. Massive armies clash not as chaotic noise, but as orchestrated crescendos of tension and release. The charge of the Rohirrim remains a masterclass in cinematic momentum, combining sweeping camera movements with a swelling score that captures both terror and exhilaration. Each sword clash and cavalry advance reinforces the thematic assertion that courage is not the absence of fear, but action despite it. Yet for all its spectacle, the film's most enduring power lies in its intimacy. The climb toward Mount Doom strips away grandeur, reducing the conflict to two hobbits and a corrupted creature struggling against internal collapse. Frodo's claim of the ring at the brink of destruction is not framed as villainy, but as tragic inevitability. No one is immune to absolute temptation. It is Gollum's obsessive intervention, born of greed yet resulting in salvation, that completes the quest. In that moment, the narrative suggests that even flawed beings play indispensable roles in the tapestry of fate. The coronation of Aragorn restores a sense of order, yet the triumph feels tempered by cost. The quiet bow of the hobbits before their king subverts hierarchy, acknowledging that heroism is not measured by stature or title. The departure to the Grey Havens provides one of the most poignant conclusions in mainstream cinema. Frodo's wounds, both visible and unseen, cannot be healed within the Shire he fought to protect. His choice to sail westward becomes an elegy for innocence lost. Gandalf, ever the guardian of transition, guides the Fellowship's remnants toward farewell rather than celebration. Behind the camera, the collaborative vision of Peter Jackson and his fellow screenwriters Philippa Boyens and Fran Walsh shapes the adaptation with reverence and cinematic instinct. The ensemble cast delivers performances that balance mythic gravitas with human vulnerability. Viggo Mortensen's restrained intensity, Ian McKellen's luminous authority, and Sean Astin's heartfelt loyalty form the emotional triad that sustains the narrative. The film's producers and creative architects ensured continuity across all three installments, maintaining tonal cohesion while escalating narrative stakes. Upon release, the film was met with extraordinary acclaim, culminating in a historic sweep of major awards. Its recognition was not solely for visual achievement, but for its synthesis of storytelling, performance, music, and technical craft. The score's choral power amplifies every triumph and tragedy, reinforcing the epic's operatic resonance. Critics and audiences alike recognized that the trilogy's final chapter achieved something rare, a conclusion that honored its source material while embracing the language of cinema. Over time, the film's legacy has only deepened. It demonstrated that fantasy, when treated with seriousness and respect, could command both commercial dominance and artistic legitimacy. It expanded the possibilities for serialized storytelling on a grand scale, influencing franchises that followed. More importantly, it left an imprint on viewers who grew alongside its characters, internalizing its themes of perseverance, friendship, and sacrifice. At its core, the story contends that power corrupts, but compassion redeems. Sam's refusal to abandon Frodo encapsulates the narrative's center. Aragorn's humility tempers his authority. Éowyn's courage defies despair. Even Gollum, tragic and twisted, becomes a vessel of unintended grace. The destruction of the ring is not simply a victory of good over evil, it is the culmination of countless acts of loyalty and mercy. As the final credits roll, there remains a sense of completion rarely achieved in blockbuster cinema. The journey that began with a quiet birthday party concludes with the passing of an age. Middle-earth endures, but it is irrevocably changed. The audience, too, emerges altered, having witnessed not just battles and spectacle, but a meditation on endurance in the face of overwhelming darkness. In revisiting this film, one recognizes its meticulous craftsmanship and emotional sincerity. It stands as both the climax of a trilogy and a testament to collaborative filmmaking at its highest level. Years after its debut, its imagery remains indelible. White walls under siege, a crown placed upon a reluctant king, two hobbits standing alone against a volcanic abyss. Each frame contributes to a narrative mosaic that feels timeless. The enduring appeal of The Return of the King lies in its balance of myth and humanity. It invites viewers to believe that even in epics of shadow, light persists, not through dominance, but through devotion. In closing the saga, it does not merely end a story, it affirms that courage, however small, can alter the fate of worlds.